on the Saturday.
The next day?
The next day, I took her back there first.
And how did she react to that then?
Well, I was praying and hoping that once we got to the gate, that she would do something different, just to
take you somewhere.
Yeah, just give some sign of some kind. But she, bless her, she just went through the gate like any other normal day and ran into the field and looked at me excited that she was there for a walk. I was saying to her, "Where's mummy? Where's mummy?" And she was just looking at me like.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. Please like, share and subscribe. This is the case of Nicola Jane Bully. Nicola, a 45-year-old mother, was reported missing in Lancashire, St. Michael's, Lancashire, on the 27th of January 2023. Nicola was last seen at 9:15 near the River Towpath. That was according to Superintendent Sally Riley and according to the posters that is still up on the tree, and that was on the caravan park, behind the caravan parks. The cameras were not working. So basically, they're trying to tell us that the timeline started from when Nicola dropped her two daughters to the primary school. Emma said that she saw Nicola and she waved to her, I believe. There are plenty of school mothers and fathers doing their school rounds. So it is kind of a rush hour time in UK. I believe anywhere from 7:30 to 10 o'clock. Because everyone's going to school, taking the children to school. People are going to college, university, different things, doing their daily routines. Nicola was a mortgage advisory person. Going to her work Facebook, you can see that Nicola really liked her job. In fact, she loved her job. She was good at her job, definitely good at her job. Because reading all the message, because that Facebook is actually public, because that was a line of work. So you can see she talks about mortgages, she talks about protection of insurance for your mortgage, protecting your loved ones, a lot of home sales going on, and I'm talking about massive, huge properties. So I believe she works for that, was it Excellence Agency? She works for some agency, but Nicola is involved in advising people for sales. What I found to be a bit, I wouldn't say red flag, concerning, is because I was watching a pattern. I noticed that this Facebook, I believe, was active since 2020 or 21, but our movements last year in 2022, in between April right up to 18th of January was when she put a last known comment in the text and like advising or putting up our property or putting up something. That was on the 18th. But I noticed in 2022, for a couple of months, it could be actually nothing or it could be something. Nicola was very involved in advising people to get insurance policies for the family. There's even a whole kind of a letter statement, not a statement, like advisory she put out there saying that to join this protection schemes like insurance and all, because if you if anything, any harm happens to you, God forbid, then at least your other half, she means your partner or your husband or your wife, wouldn't have to struggle with the financial burden by themselves. I don't find anything wrong in that because most of us have insurance in some way or the other. I don't basically personally believe in life insurance because I believe that this life is kind of borrowed. It's God who gave it to me, God who gave us a life, and God will take it back, obviously. So that's what I believe. So I don't believe in my religion we don't deal with insurance, honestly. I don't believe in insurance personally. But I can't lie, my mobile device, my TV, my house insurance, yes, I do have insurance in many, many things. And you have to have insurance in certain things because when you have children, although they're adults now, things can break easy, accidents can happen. But I don't know, life insurance is a bit too deep for me. But I found that to be interesting because what I noticed about Nicola's public work Facebook is that it was open for everyone. So Nicola is information. Every time she puts in a statement, she'll put in an email, end it with the email and number and say, contact me. So my question is, was anyone following Nicola? And Nicola used to go a lot to the river paths. You see her taking pictures even actually on the river tow part. And then you see her with a dog below by the water space. And that is not near the bench, it's near the other side. I think you'll know what I mean. The side that looks like a beach, kind of. You even see her saying one day, I believe it was in May 2022 last year, she was saying, I had a lovely day. I started my day with sunshine and bright skies or something like that. And then she says, oh, just guess who swam today? And then she shows the dog emoji that Willie was swimming. And he looked wet. So she's starting her day. She looks like she does this regularly. You can see that she's a person who takes her job seriously. You can definitely see that Nicola is an organized person because you can see from small things. That's what I believe, at least as a therapist. Look at it in this perspective. When Nicola opens her car, you can see it's very neat behind. We've seen her home pictures on Facebook, on other channels, everywhere. Her house is clean and neat. She's always smiling. Her kids look gorgeous and pretty and they look decent. Her house, even outside, you can see whether Gisela K or whoever faked these edited videos. I've spoken about that for a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not going to touch on that CCTV footage, but we know it's fake. So AD wasn't wrong in that part, honestly. It is a fake video, but people can get a bit carried away with other things like the encrypt number and all. It's just too much for me. But I believe no matter what, Gisela K should honestly be questioned by the police, by the authority. I've said that from day one because this is an active investigation. Nobody besides the police of Lancashire should be interrupting this case. And for Gisela to just come and interrupt it and say the keys were found in the pocket, how would she know what was in Nicola's pocket? Because the police were searching for Nicola for 23 days. So I find with Gisela K that is a red flag. I don't believe in that CCTV footage because everything about it looks kind of, it's not even winter. Look at the snow and the ice and how muddy and how wet and how cold it was 10 minutes away near the bench. So how could Inskip be sunny, have green grass, whether it's evergreen grass, like somebody said? What about the trees? What about the bushes? What about the light? You can see the daylight. It's not a winter day. So, Paul, I don't know where you got that footage from. It has to be another day, because even you can see by the jackets you and Nicola, may she rest in peace, is wearing. It's much thinner. It's more like autumn, spring, early winter, but it's definitely not winter. Now, what Paul just said is actually important to notice. I find that to be concerning, what Paul said. Paul said he took Willow, their dog, he took her to the bench site. He opened the gate and asked her, "Where's mommy?" But Willow wasn't interested. She was happy to be taking a walk, and she started running around. My question is, why did Paul go back to the bench? Did he forget something? Or did whoever came to abduct Nicola found something, lost something there? Because this can't be a coincidence that the police came back on the 4th of April and they were checking the waters. That can't be a coincidence. And then we have Paul coming back to, which should be called a crime scene. Why didn't he actually come back the same day? When the police told Paul to go home, we are aware of that. He went home. Paul was done with the police. He should have come straight back to where Nicola allegedly disappeared or vanished. Or like he said, everything comes to a brick wall. I don't believe anything comes to a brick wall, Paul, unless you want to make it come to a brick wall. The timelines are changed on purpose. The locations are changed on purpose. You have a partner here, Nicola's partner, for 12 years. They have 2 children together, 2 beautiful children. My question is, why wasn't Paul Ansel, the partner, searching for his partner? If she fell in the river or if she disappeared and somebody gave you her mobile, somebody gave you Nicola's mobile, they gave you the harness, and what else did they give you? Willow. You got all 3. Those 3 shouldn't have been given to you because that was clear evidence. You could have deleted whatever you want from Nicola's phone, although the police will get back the data. But you're not supposed to be having Nicola's phone or harness. You have a partner missing, and in every missing cases, whether it's adults or children, if it's children, the parents are checked automatically. If it was me, I would have put everyone out in this case as a person of interest until everything is cleared properly. What about the psychic who came to the scene? I found that to be fishy, honestly. It's written clearly on the newspapers, the psychic is a dog walker. Which dog was he walking? He didn't have any dogs. Allegedly, he was walking with his mother. That's what I heard. And she's a psychic too. So all the way from where he lives, he decided, let me come to this area and help with Nicola. That is possible. But I really don't buy that. Because once somebody tells a lie, you better have to watch out. Because you can, in a way, a thief you can watch out for. A lie you can't watch out for. So once lies started, everything changed. Everything changed. Let's not forget, when Rebecca Smith said, we released the information of Nicola Bulley, she said clearly, we got it from the partner Paul. So what was Paul's intention of giving out such vulnerable, delicate information that makes Nicola look bad? Another question, why didn't Paul realize, don't say such things, because Nicola could be out there watching, and if she's depressed and her life is in a concern, she could end her life or something like that. She could do self-harm. Why didn't he think about that? Because he knew Nicola wasn't coming back. Allegedly. That's my honest opinion. Today I really want to address the elephants in the room, not even an elephant. We have Emma standing there in an interview, laughing clearly, giggling, saying, I don't know what happened. People just go, we are a small, beautiful village, and Nicola just went out with a dog for a walk, and then you disappear. That's exactly what she said. Just the interviews are enough for them to be investigated. Paul shows no emotions. He's flat on the surface and inside too. He literally shows no emotion from the outside. And to be showing emotions, even if you're trying to hide your emotions outside and you're keeping it inside, eventually it will come out. Nobody can be that strong. He's supposed to have a missing loved one, the mother of his daughters, and he's sitting there on what? 1 week after Nicola has disappeared, and he's sitting there comfortable, trying to say on top of that, yeah, I know people will say that, he said, one person said that the partner needs to be checked, and he says, yeah, the partner needs to be checked, I'm aware of that, I knew that from the start, and they cleared me. Isn't that a bit strange to be saying that out in public? In this interview, Paul actually told us a lot. Paul told us everything we needed to know. Sorry, that's my cat. Wants to be in the video. Say hello. Come on, come. Yeah, so basically, sorry guys, that was my cat. Wanted to sit on my lap. Basically, what I'm trying to say is the whole case is, they're trying to make it look like it was a mystery. The police are trying to make it like Nicola fell in the river. But let's be honest, this is no mystery. This was foul play, proper foul play, and I hope they don't get away with it. I really hope. I believe personally, allegedly, that Penny has a big part to do with this. Penny and the caravan park have a lot to do with this. The reason I say that is common sense. They're the ones. Penny is in charge of the bench and those places. Penny doesn't like dogs. Nicola has a dog. Something could have led to arguments between them. An accident could have easily happened. That is one. I believe somebody that Nicola knew, whether it was through her job, because what was interesting is she was in a job meeting. So I would love to know the email she sent to her boss. What did the email say? Because she sent an email first, she did not just join the meeting. So she's invited to the meeting. Okay, she didn't have a camera on and she didn't have a speaker on. For me, that really doesn't make sense, because there are times that when you're in a call meeting, when you're such kind of, I don't know how to explain, I'm thinking, yeah, when you're in such kind of meetings, you can be silent, But you usually start by introducing yourself. Like the manager or whoever, supervisor, whoever is in charge would say, usually. They would introduce themselves. I'm so and so, I'm the head of this meeting. We have so and so here, who's this and this. We have this person here, who's a doctor in his field. We have a therapist here. We have the school counselor here. Like such things, they usually would like it because she works with real agent estate. So they would have introduced like, oh, this is so and so from the other estate agent, and we will be exchanging properties or whatsoever. You expect that somebody comes on the phone, says hello, and then just puts it on mute and silent. Because I can understand she's the advisor, she's advisory. What I'm trying to say about this whole situation is what makes it complicated, let's be honest. The timelines are not clear. The timelines just change right in front of our face. Right in front of our face. Superintendent Sally Riley clearly said that Nicola was missing at 9:15. She was last seen near the river towpath. If that is the case, then why did it change after the next conference? She had two conferences and it was both saying 9:15. One actually said 9:10. She spoke about Garston Road. She spoke and said that they do not have cameras everywhere. But it was Superintendent Sally Riley who decided to come with the decision, theory, hypothesis, let's call it what we want, that Nicola fell in the river. No evidence pointing out that somebody fell in the river. Searches started immediately. Divers started going deep into the water. No sign of Nicola. They were working throughout the night. No sign of Nicola. The river, I understand, is tidal, it's big, all that, but no, it wasn't that deep. It was only 2 feet deep or 3 feet deep. Nicola is an excellent swimmer. She's a good swimmer. We heard that from Sally Riley in the meeting when the press asked her from Channel 5. The women asked her, she said, yes, she's a good swimmer. Nicola is very athletic. And honestly, this is what I believe. This is my personal opinion only. I believe that whatever, I've said that from the start, whatever happened on the 10th of January led to the 27th of January. That is why it's become one big mess. Because the police know, allegedly, that if they were found guilty for what happened on the 10th of January, then this case on the 26th, arrest or something would have been made. But they actually, I wouldn't say won because it's sad. This is not a winning case. Somebody lost their life. But they actually got dismissed, like without any consequences. And this is the classic. This is the thing. I don't mean classic, but this is really important. This I didn't like. And I think we should have caught on from the start. This was really important. The police said that the acts that they're going to try and change is discipline the officers more in such vulnerable situations, something like that. And they were going to send the office. Yeah, they said that we have to make sure that all the officers go into a home visit on welfare checks, that they should have their camera on. Now that is important. Why wasn't the body camera on? You're supposed to have your body camera on, no matter what situation. So that did not make sense that officer who came, and I don't think it's normal, honestly. I do not believe, I don't know how it works in Lancashire, because in London, you call the police, they will come in 2 or 3 or 4, Don't be surprised if they come in 6. I've never called them, but I've seen on my way to work, in town, near my areas at time, you will see, whether it's an accident, whether it's a stabbing, whatever is happening, or if it's a missing case, the police always come in more than 2, or at least 2. It's really odd to see one policeman came to the scene. So the question is, did something happen to Nicola Bulley that day that could have prevented what happened on the 27th? I personally believe yes. And I've always said that. Whatever happened on the 10th, and this is all allegedly my opinion, I believe that this decoy was being built for a while, from January. So I believe personally that maybe the police and the welfare were called to Nicola's house, maybe by a partner, maybe by someone she knew, so that the welfare would interfere, take her children, and maybe make her look unstable. Because if Nicola had mental health illnesses, it is possible, but the question is, I remember them saying that the menopause and she's getting foggy and like basically feeling foggy and lightweight in the head and such things. And then it crossed my mind. I was thinking, was she being drugged? Allegedly. Think about that. Why don't we see mercy from a partner? No empathy, no searching. That should give us all the clues we need. From day 1, Paul Ansel has not been searching. Question is, was he told by the police not to search? The police called him back to his house. Did the police want him back home because they did not trust him to be on the scene? Could that be possible? I believe anything is possible. But whatever happened on the 10th of January, and I personally believe it's DV that happened, domestic V. Because the reason I'm thinking that way is for the police to come along with the welfare and medical services. I've heard many channels, not channels, mainstream news channels saying that it was mental health illness. Not mental health illness, sorry, that the police came because of, oh my God, this cat. Sorry, guys. He scared me actually. I'm really sorry about that. His name is Sammy. Anyway, guys, what I was trying to say is this whole interview is lack of empathy. Lack of empathy. Unless that is just the way he is on a regular day. But I see a lot of a person being defensive that doesn't want to open up. I believe honestly, I really believe that there's something that happened between the two partners, maybe at home, and it led to whatever it led to. He has an alibi, but that doesn't mean he couldn't have got someone to do his dirty work. I'm not accusing him, but we can't ignore the elephant in the room. Coming back to the second elephant in the room, for me, is definitely Emma. And I've said why. Each and every interview, she's the one organizing it. She's the one running it. And another thing that I find strange is the police told Peter Folding where exactly to search and where not to. Why? Why did the police tell Peter Folding where to search and where not to search? And another thing, Emma and Heather Gibson is in charge of the organizer searches. They were giving out maps, and they were telling the searchers to download some app, and they were searching landscapes and all, but they were telling people where to search and where not to search. So the search is being organized by regular public people, and searches organized by the police, the serious searches, but the police at the same time are letting Peter folding only certain places and not other places. That sounds fishy to me. Paul said himself, I have a good relationship with the police. Do you all remember that? He has such a good relationship with the police that he made Nicola look like an unstable person who had mental illness. Anything could have been done to Nicola. Poor Nicola. She didn't deserve this, her children didn't deserve this, and respect needs to be put on her name. And the only way it will be done is by giving her justice. She deserves that justice, because that woman, may she rest in peace, went out for a walk. I really get upset when I hear people still discussing if Nicola could have harmed herself. Nicola doesn't look like that type who would traumatize her children by going 3 minutes away from the school and harming herself. There's other ways to harm themselves. I don't think. What I see is a decent, serious woman, and what I see is honestly, yes, Nicola used to drink. So did Emma. So did Paul. So did all of them. You see cocktail glasses everywhere with them. So why is Nicola getting the bad rep? Why is she getting the bad half of the stick? Is it because she's not here? This is why we made awareness channels on YouTube, so that we try and spread awareness so that Nicola gets her justice. I hate when we are told as social media, stop interfering and do not interfere in the case and do not speculate. We're going to speculate because you'll change the timeline. We're going to speculate because Ghislaine K is coming out with fake footages. We're going to speculate because Ghislaine K is working with Paul and his male friend. We're going to speculate because Ghislaine K said Nicola's keys were found in her pocket. Where did she get that from? So Lancashire Police, we are going to speculate, but in a decent and mindful way. Because by speculating, it's not good, it's hurtful for the family, but by speculating in a mindful way, we get answers to what actually happened to Nicola Bulley. Because this ain't about us, this is not my story, this is not my subscriber's story, this is not YouTuber's story, this is Nicola Bulley's journey. This is her daughter's journey. This is her partner's journey, her parents' journey. Another person I wanted to touch a bit on, in a very mindful way, just a question. Paul ain't searching, neither is Louis. Louise. Why isn't Louis searching the sister? Just a question. She can afford to search. She doesn't have children. The parents work, and the parents are elderly people. So obviously they can't come to the searches. I can understand maybe Louise couldn't come because it was too traumatizing for her to see where her sister could have gone off. But even in that interview, I find it very strange how the mother keeps on looking at Louise, either like, don't say something wrong, or either like, you know what she did. You know what she did last winter. So I don't know what's going on, but the vibes in that interview is really strange. There's a part even when the reporter from Sky News asked Louise about the children and like where do you go from here? And you saw clearly there was no hope. She said, yeah, no, the children, yeah, we have to move on in life and continue because the children, I do understand. But then at once the father interrupted her and he said, no, the children know and they're waiting for, the children know that their mother is missing and they're waiting for her to come home. Like the father showing, we're not giving up hope. We told the children the mommy's missing and they have hope and we're praying their mommy's coming home. So I don't know what to say, there are very many people here that are not genuine and are not telling the truth. This story has become like the Usual Suspects. You remember that movie with Kevin Spacey? This is proper Usual Suspects. They're all acting like Kaiser Soze. I am just baffled with Paul that he wasn't searching for Nicola at all. He said, police told me to go home. He said, when I went home, they were there before me. So they came quickly. Why did the police want him home? Is it because they sensed that he was behind it? And what is the reason that the police believe Nicola fell in the water? Because the only way you would know, the police would know if someone so quickly fell in the water or something, is if you have a monitor, if you have a tag on your leg, then the police will have known. Or unless you have a chip in your body, which you don't. Sometimes I wonder, this is just speculations only, this is fine to change my purpose only. There's so many things that I wonder about that it really makes you kind of sad, because the more it's like onions that you have to peel out layer by layer, and the more deeper you go into it, you'll be thinking, oh my God, so this part of the timeline is changed, this isn't changed. The witnesses have all gone. And I believe this was pre-planned, it was premeditated properly, to the last bit, to the end it was done properly. The timing, the witness. And I wanted to show you something strange. Do you all remember? Not strange. Do you all remember when it was said that 2 people were seen around that areas that morning and somebody was covering the mouth? Did you see how Superintendent Rebecca dismissed it quickly? Like there's nothing with that. And then she said the red card, there's nothing with that either. Let me show you this, please. Hopefully you can read this clearly. It says Nicola Bulley development. New details emerge about suspicious duo seen near river. Witnesses say the pair seemed to want to hide their faces, which struck me as odd. So allegedly there were 2 witnesses who saw 2 suspicious people near the river, and the witnesses reported it. They said the pair seemed to want to hide their faces, which struck me as odd. So those 2 people on the 27th, who was near the river, should have clearly been people of interest or suspects, but they just vanished because the police decided that no, Nicola fell in the river, it can't be them. Why would someone cover up their face? COVID is finished. There's no need to cover up your face. So why would they do that? Was those 2 people the 2 people that were seen with the red van? Or was those 2 people 2 other people? And this psychic, what's his name? Rothwell, who found Nicola. He said clearly in the first Facebook statement, he said a bit about himself and his psychic work and what took him there to find Nicola. He said Nicola was not in the reefs, she was in the river. So she was maybe coming towards him. because when you can see him going down, then he points, then the police tie the rope to the jacket, or I don't know where, but you can see there's a long distance from the hill where the police tied the rope, and that's not even near the weaves. It's kind of coming towards the weaves. So what actually happened? And like I said, the opposite side of where Nicola was found has always been important for me because of the marks, because of the disturbed grass. And another thing I found out today that I feel, not I found out, but that kind of backs up my theory, is that Rawcliffe Road has actually CCTV cameras, unless they're not working either. But they do have CCTV cameras. So whoever put, allegedly, let's say whoever put Nicola back, or put Nicola in the river on the 19th, was it, of February? That person knew that there was cameras in Rawcliffe Road. So what would he do? Just say allegedly. Then you would use the opposite side, because Garstin Road goes from the river top part, maybe, or further down, and then it goes towards the end, towards Marsham and many other places. But Curtis clearly told us that that farm was abandoned. Nobody lived there. So obviously they wouldn't hear a sound if people were coming from Garstin Road. It looked like tractors even had been there, but there's no farm. So what is really going on? I hope we get justice for Nicola Bulley. I really do hope. I really do hope that. And I hope not only justice, I hope the truth comes out and they all apologize for this to Nicola's family. Because I don't think Nicola is what they made her seem to look. Poor woman. She's not even here to defend her name and tell us what happened. But we can clearly see that this is not a mystery. This is foul play. And my other question is, I just watch things and I find them strange. Was it an accident that Curtis bumped into Paul? Found it interesting the way Paul said hey or hello to him. They answered each other back. Why would Paul let somebody roll a camera on his face? Didn't he report the trolls that came on his Instagram, was it? So why is he letting Mr. Curtis take pictures of him? Something's not right. I don't trust a psychic. I don't trust anyone in this case, not even Curtis. Something is not right. And the caravan park, Penny's all behind it. They deliberately put off all the cameras in every place so that they could make sure that they could lure Nicola out of where she was. They must have called, her name Willow. They must have called the dog to distract Nicola. And when Nicola turned or was searching for Willow, I can picture them covering her mouth or doing something. Allegedly. That's if there's a third party. But if it's an accident, then so be it. May she rest in peace no matter what. I don't know, people are different, but if this is a decoy like Peter said, which it looks like, the police should have cleared it up from the start. But I guess the main thing, that's why they say in missing cases, the golden hours. In the golden hours, nothing was done. That is the sad thing. Everything was done wrong. And that leads to consequences. It leads to maybe arrests not being made. Because now they're sticking to that theory. No, she fell in the river. How can you fall in a 2 feet river, shallow river, and drown? Even if you hit your head and you fall, sink in the river, God forbid, like Peter Fulton said, you'll be found there. There was night searches going on, day searches. And many people talk about this and say that, oh yeah, but the partner said that he wants every place scrutinized. About Emma saying that there's no evidence or theory to say she fell in the river, and some of the other friends. This is what I honestly believe. Paul wanted everyone to leave the river so that he can come and put whatever he wanted to do. You'll get my point. I'm telling you, that's what happened. Because you can imagine, Nicola is supposed to be in the river, and if this is foul play, Nicola can't be found in the river. What are they supposed to do? Put Nicola back in the river. How can you do that? Rawcliffe Road doesn't have cameras. So go opposite side. Go to Garston Road. And put her back from there. That's what I believe exactly happened. And that is my belief, allegedly. Or Nicola could have been put from the other side of the river. Isn't it strange, another thing, that when Nicola was found right after that, Paul was on Sky News saying like he was with his daughters and I think another woman, you could hear her voice. And then you clearly hear the daughter saying, Daddy, the helicopters, they're looking for mommy, they're looking for mommy. And he said, yeah, I know. Why did he need to record that to us? Is he searching for sympathy? I can understand those girls are in so much pain. You can imagine the trauma they're going through. But I don't want them to grow up with people disrespecting their mother just because the police chose to put those information out to the public. We don't need to know that. I think they wanted to convince us that she fell in the river, but nobody's buying that. I ain't buying that. And Louise, the sister, Paul, the partner, Emma, Jill, at least about 4 people or 5 people saying, she vanished through thin air. I'm tired of that word. Nobody vanishes through thin air. This is foul play, and they chose the bench to be the decoy. And that is why the police did not cordon off the bench, because they knew, allegedly, that Nicola wasn't there. There was no evidence there. I believe the crime scene was in Skipool car park, because something really happened there. And they didn't tell us why the police and the forensic team went there. I wanted to show you another thing. Watch how the searchers were searching at night too. So it's not like the search stopped entirely. They were doing a thorough search. But Nicola was nowhere to be found.
This is a small Lancashire town in a desperate search where no one wants to give up looking. Tonight, search teams in the dark and rain responded to a community call-out. Wading into the river close to where Nicola Bulley's phone was found, they pulled out what looked like a green chair. But police are appealing for any new information, calling now for this key witness to come forward, a woman seen here pushing a pram who police believe was in the area where Nicola disappeared on Friday morning. As the investigation continues, Nicola Bulley's friends say it's too soon for condolences, that the police theory that Nicola fell into the river is not one they can as yet accept.
As far as we are aware, there is no evidence that she is in that water. And I mean, the police have been incredible with the resources that they have thrown towards that river. This is not adding up. And it's not adding up on a huge scale, which makes you think, well, then there has to still be hope, because we're missing something. Something is not making sense.
Friends have established this, a community search hub in the village tennis club.
Use the WhatsApp app as well,
where people can come, take a map of the local area and try and help.
I've known Nicola for over 20 years. It's a distressing time for the family, and my husband and I, we just felt that we wanted to come and, just come and look
This is one route along the riverbank here, or?
Yes, yeah.
Lee Ward has never met Nicola Bulley, doesn't know her family, but he, like so many others, has seen her story and felt compelled to come.
I think it's one of the things you read it on the news and that, and it sort of eats you up inside, you know, thinking what they're going through.
For Nicola Bulley's friends and families, there are still far more questions than answers right now. The police investigation has been extensive. It's covered 15 kilometres of rivers all the way down to the sea, but it's still here, the fields where Nicola was last seen and where her phone and dog were found, that continue to draw people, all with the same question: what happened that morning? We sent footage from the scene to Peter Faulding. He's a forensic search and rescue expert and believes police need to intensify their efforts in the river.
It needs a high frequency sonar run down the river to say she's not there. I mean, we can walk up and down riverbanks all day long and look at and have people on the ground, but maybe them resources could be focused in other places.
Here, neighbours, friends, family, even strangers are not giving up hope. They will continue their search for a mother who went for a walk and has not come home.
I just came across this, which used to be the discussion in Penny's channel about Nicola Bulley wearing striped socks and Emma wearing striped socks. And I tried to prove the point before. And this is the second time actually I got evidence of it. If you look at Emma's shoes properly, and you look at her leggings have stripes, white stripes. So that's the reason it looks like she's wearing striped socks, which she isn't. Because even Emma, whoever it is, I don't want anyone to be accused of anything they didn't do. But I find it very strange that the way Emma dresses, her hair color had to be for some purpose. Because how would you get time to change your hair color so many times, your set of makeup? How would you even get time to put makeup on when your best friend is gone? It's vanished into thin air.
On Friday, she was last seen walking her dog near the river after dropping her daughters at school. Her friends told me Nicola's partner, family and the whole community are desperate for news.
We've got a mummy missing and two little girls asking where their mummy is, and then we've got Paul being so strong for his little girls, but imagine the roller coaster he's going on. It's just heartbreaking, every type of emotion you can imagine. She's so well loved. She's just kind, beautiful inside and out. She'd do anything for anybody.
What we're holding on to is no news is good news, and we have to hold on to hope because that's what's pushing us forward at the moment. And anyone who knows Nick just knows that a family are a world, her girls are absolute everything, and if she could be at home with her girls and Paul, we just don't have any doubt that that's where she'd be.
Please pay attention to how Emma keeps smiling in interviews. It doesn't make sense, and this was one of the first interviews she's done. Look at the difference between her and Heather Gibson. Heather, in fact, looks like she is more sad, confused maybe about what happened to Nicola. But look at the difference between Emma. Emma's always got that sarcastic face. She's got that face that she, I don't know, that she's up to something or is going to say something or know something. And let's not forget, these two people are the people organizing the searches. So they're very important people. They know exactly that the timeline was 9:15.
Are desperate for news.
We've got a mummy missing and two little girls asking where their mummy is, and then we've got Paul being so strong for his little girls, but imagine the roller coaster he's going on. It's just heartbreaking, every type of emotion you can imagine. She's so well loved.
I'm really shocked and baffled with the behavior of Emma and Paul, both of them giggling and laughing like teenagers in school. This doesn't make sense. Emma's smiling. Emma has a full set makeup on, although the picture is Nicola. May she rest in peace. It's really sad and disturbing. I really believe Nicola got betrayed, backstabbed, allegedly, by all of the people she thought were friends and her loved ones. May she rest in peace, and may justice be served. I'll end this clip. I'm sure you'll have seen this before. This is the ski pool car park where the forensic team were called to. It's not far from the River Wire. It's a couple of minutes walk. The forensics team was called for a suspicious car. When they went inside this place, I'll show you all, you can see that the forensic woman did not have any items. She just had empty plastic bags, and she came back with something that looks like a foot or a boot, or God forbid, I don't know what it is. Although the police are saying that this is not related to Nicola's case, I personally believe this is. Because after the 3rd of February, everything changed. And this is really not far from the River Tour Park. I wonder sometimes if Nicola went missing on Thursday night. If something happened to Nicola on Thursday night at home, and then the decoy came to this place, to the bench. But I'd like to end by saying that this is the forensic doctor or forensic person, police, who came to this car park in Ski Pool. It's not far from the River Wye, and she went back with evidence in her car. So we don't know what they found, but it makes sense that the crime scene of Nicola could have been here. We don't even know if Nicola went missing on Friday or Thursday. Nicola was supposed to meet her boss even at Thursday. I think she met him. Her parents were babysitting her children, I believe, at her house. So could something have happened? Was there domestic violence at home? DV? Could that be the reason the police came on the 10th? I'm just speculating. Please leave a comment. And let's be mindful in the comment section, guys. You're always so professional. Let's keep it professional. And let's keep respect on Nicola Bulley's name. That is really important. Her medical evidence shouldn't be discussed, whether they're fake or true. We all just want the truth, to find out what happened to Nicola Bulley, and we want justice for her, but we have to keep in mind that there are 2 daughters that could be watching this. Even I should keep that in mind. But I'm just trying to be careful and point out what I see, because what I'm pointing out is evidence from the interviews. There's no other evidence that Nicola fell in the river. So I'm just analyzing their behavior like many other people do. Please look after yourselves, guys. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.